Selamat pagi pendengar dan juga pemirsa RRI. Saat ini saya sudah bersama Duta Besar Mesir untuk Indonesia Yang Mulia Bapak Yasser Elshemy. Good morning, Ambassador.
Selamat pagi. Good morning. Good morning. Pleasure meeting you today.
So I will straight to the first question, sir. How do you see the bilateral relations between Indonesia and Egypt, and which has lasted for almost 8 decades, right?
Allow me first to convey Egypt's sincere condolences and solidarity with the government and the people of Indonesia following the recent floods in Sumatra. We extend our sympathies to the families and the victims of all the affected, and we have full confidence in the resilience of the Indonesian people and the institutions to recover this hardship. Turning to your question, I view Egypt-Indonesia relationship as a long-standing brotherly partnership. Our relationship has enjoyed an exceptional stability because it was built on genuine solidarity from the beginning. Egypt was the first country to recognize Indonesian independence in 1945. We started our diplomatic relations in 1947. And we established a strong and genuine partnership between the two countries since 70 years ago, or 8 years ago. 8 years ago. Let's see that Egypt and Indonesia shared a very historical leadership in the global south. Egypt and Indonesia, they are founding members of the NAM, 1961, 1962. And of course, all of us know the legacy of President Abdel Nasser and President Sukarno during the Bandung Conference 1955. And this conference remains a defining reference point for both nations. Also, Egypt and Indonesia positions regarding the all regional and international issues are almost aligned. As we translate this non-alignment that it's as the core of our concrete cooperation in the multilateral settings. Egypt and Indonesia also shares the membership of many multilateral bodies like the United Nations, OIC, D8, and finally and recently the BRICS and Group 77. As well of course a lot of other multilateral frameworks, but this is the big ones. Yeah. And of course, all of these platforms, we can use it as a base to work and advancing development and interests of the Global South as the two members of this mechanisms. Finally, I can say that our relationship is benefiting from a visible high-level momentum. We highly value the positive dynamism since President Prabowo assumed office. Including His Excellency's 3 visits to Cairo within 1 year. I can say that our friendship is based on shared history, shared principle, and shared horizons. A relationship began with solidarity and moved towards strategic coordination, and now advancing to a renewed momentum towards a future or deeper cooperation in and lasting mutual benefits between the two countries.
So, Excellency, we know that Indonesia and Egypt have elevated their bilateral relations to a strategic partnership. And what does this strategic partnership mean in practical terms, and what are the priority areas of cooperating going forward?
The elevation of an Egypt-Indonesia relationship to a strategic partnership it's a huge step because it transforms our long-standing political understanding into implementation-driven framework across multiple pillars, which is currently witnessed in the plan of action. In the both countries are working on it to move from planning to implementation. Let's review each pillar separately. Let's first target the economic, trade, and investment cooperation. This is our priority for both sides. I think it's our objective not only to increase the volumes of the trade between the two countries, but diversify the trade baskets and expand into higher value added goods and services. We can see a strong potential in addressing non-tariff constraints that affect the market access here in Indonesia. At the same time, we are obliged to implement what the two presidents already agreed to, push the bilateral trade volume within the coming 5 years to $5 billion instead of 1.7 billion. Beyond that, the strategic partnership creates a space for flagship investment initiative that anchor long-term cooperation. And let me say that we have a lot of ideas and proposals between the two countries, like establishing a joint refinery for the palm crude oil in Egypt. And of course, the derivatives and the refined oil can be exported to the nearby markets tax-free. Also, we propose that Indonesia can create a Indonesian logistic zone in Suez Canal area, serving as a platform of light manufacturing or re-export, and also Indonesia can use this platform to increase its export to Arab and African and European markets tax-free. Besides that, also we have a proposal to create a joint investment fund of $1 billion, 50-50 between the two countries, to accelerate the mentioned projects that I already mentioned there. I think number two is we can say that food security. And Egypt and Indonesia are big countries with big populations. So food security is playing a very important role in this issue. And we can work together to increase the export of Egyptian vegetables and fruits, which has a very high quality to the Indonesian markets. And also Egypt is ready to import from Indonesia corn and rice and palm oil. I think it's very important that we also not focus on the food security as goods and commodities, but also we can enhance the cooperation in the technical fields on the R&D in agriculture, and this is very important to increase the productivity of the crops in both countries. I think this will be more efficient in the future. Allow me also to highlight the pillar of infrastructure. Egypt recent experience in delivering a large-scale infrastructure upgrades across the country in the last 10 years, and Egypt is ready to help our brothers here in Indonesia to shift the experience and transfer the experience of what we already done in Egypt, especially in the highways and the bridges and tunnels. How we can enhance the integrated planning, transportation systems, public services, smart cities approaches. So all of this we have a lot of multiple areas we can work together to push the bilateral cooperation to a further step. We can also highlight the importance of the health cooperation as one of the important pillars between Egypt and Indonesia. Egypt also can learn from Indonesia regarding how Indonesian succeeded in became like a hub for the vaccines, in production of the vaccines here in the middle in the Southeast Asia and maybe the Asian continent. Another way, Egypt has a very successful story regarding the combating of virus C, hepatitis C. Egypt was a red zone 10 years ago, and now we reached we exceeding the cure rates more than 99%. So almost 0% now hepatitis C infection in Egypt, and we can share with the Indonesian brothers here how we can help them to eliminate this virus here in Indonesia. One of the important pillar also defense and security cooperation. Egypt maintains one of the most capable armed forces regionally, and it's ranked among the stronger military globally. And of course, we can work together to deepen the cooperation through capacity building, training, security coordination, and intelligence cooperation. So, of course, this will support the regional stability in Middle East and in Southeast Asia. So, if we can make a summary of all this, the strategic partnership is combining stronger institutional cooperation, clearer multi-sector priorities, and a platform for flagship investment-led cooperation.
So, Excellency, what about in education sector? Because Egypt is a destination for Indonesian students studying religious studies, such as at Al-Azhar University. We would like to know, in your opinion, what kind of support that Egypt provide to Indonesians in developing qualified human resources in Islamic studies?
Of course, Egypt supports Indonesia in developing qualified human resources, both in institutional and value basis. Egypt provides Indonesian students with a world-class environment of religious learning that promote modernization, coexistence, and respect for the diversity, and the rejection of extremism. This contributes directly to the Indonesian efforts to strengthen balanced religious discourse and cultivate future scholars and community leaders who can serve society with knowledge and responsibility. The Azhar University, of course, will remain the leading global destination for religious scholarship. Egypt offers Indonesia yearly basis 210 scholarship every year. Of course, we are, beside the 210 scholarship, of course, we are receiving thousands of Indonesians, brothers and sisters who are willing to study in Cairo. And I can say proudly that Egypt now is hosting 20,000 Indonesian students, male and female, in Cairo, studying in Azhar University. And I want also to highlight a new development regarding the educational cooperation between the two countries, but this time is not in Islamic education, but it's also related to the Azhar University. Azhar University now is offering the Indonesian students who will graduated from schools applied the Azhar curriculum. They can join the School of Medicine, School of Pharmacy, School of Engineering, School of Dentistry in Azhar University from the next school year, 2026-2027. And this came upon request of His Excellency President Prabowo during his last visit to Cairo, and President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi gave instructions to implement this request immediately, and now we are working on it with our friends here in Indonesia, so we can announce it very soon. I think also I want to highlight something, a recent development, very important. Within the last 2 years, the embassies pushed very hard with schools of languages in Azhar University, so they can start Bahasa Indonesia language department in other university. And I think last October, His Excellency Minister of Education pay a visit to Indonesian Minister of Education, pay a visit to Egypt, and His Excellency inaugurated the new Bahasa Indonesia department in the Azhar University during his visit. Also, I want to highlight the Egypt's keen to help and develop a new generation, Indonesian generation, that can lead constructive religious discourse, reject hate, violence, and contribute to stability and social harmony of Indonesia. Egypt is develop a capable Indonesian graduate in authentic scholarship that shares human values. And also, Egypt is keen to help our brothers and sisters here in an expanding cooperation in scientific and professional education that contributes to Indonesian development priorities in a tangible way.
Excellency, as the Egyptian ambassador here in Indonesia, we would like to know what are your priorities here in Indonesia, especially to enhance the bilateral relations?
Of course, my first priority is to ensure that there is a follow-up, the follow-up through the clear timeline and institutional coordination to put the strategic partnership on power. So we want to make it real, and we can feel the change in the bilateral relations between the two countries. And a very important issue that I'm highlighting now, that's how we can adopt a very effective implementation mechanisms that accelerate this results quickly and effectively. I think also one of my priorities also the economic partnership. As I mentioned, Egypt and Indonesia are very big countries. We have a huge section of young people who want to find opportunity to get a proper education and a proper job in the future. So trade and investment is a pillar, one of the two pillars that can create jobs and enhance technology transfers. And of course, it will get back positively on both Egypt and Indonesian economic very effectively. One of my priorities is also to open the Indonesian market for the Egyptian products, as I mentioned before. And also I want to highlight that Egypt also is giving Indonesia a very good opportunity to be a hub for Indonesian products to find a very easy access to African and Arab and European and even United States market tax-free. If Indonesians start to invest in Egypt in some of the commodities and or products that can use Egypt as a hub. So it's like a win-win situation between the two countries. One of my first also priorities, how we can enhance or invest into people-to-people cooperation. How we can expand cooperation in education, culture, research, youth exchange, culture exchange, music. How we can host more Indonesian students to study in Azhar. How we can absorb more Indonesian tourists to come to Egypt. Of course, we have now a direct flight between Egypt and Indonesia, between Cairo and Jakarta, Egypt Air. twice a week now, and inshallah, we are working very hard for expansion and increasing the rate of the frequency of the flights to be 3 flights per week by the end of 2026. As I mentioned, also defense is very important. This is one of the pillars that Indonesia and Egypt can work together very effectively and exchange experience between the two armies effectively. Also, it's one of the most important things how we can enhance our cooperation in multilateral coordination. We support each other in the candidates. We coordinate through a lot of shared platforms multilaterally. We work together in defending our global south. And let me highlight something very important. I went to Bandung last April on the celebration of the 70th anniversary of the Bandung Conference 1955. When I was walking in the street to the conference hall, I feel that how our founding fathers of the Bandung Conference and then later in NAM play a pivotal role to defend our rights and goals in a time it was very difficult to do this. And now after 70 years, I think we need to find a new version of Bandung. We'll say Bandung 2.0 to be more active regarding all the developments happening in the worldwide, economically, politically, and culturally also, and technologically.
Different areas.
Yes, very true.
So, Excellency, we know that now Indonesia is the chair of the D8 after Egypt, yeah, for sure. So we would like to know what kind of the support that Egyptian government give to Indonesia, and I also wondering, will there be the visit of the President el-Sisi during the summit on April?
Of course, Egypt has just completed its own chairmanship of the D8, and Egypt stands ready to provide Indonesia with all with full support for the Indonesian presidency. Of course, we can deliver a concrete outcome. Of course, we will share with our brothers here in Indonesia all the experience that Egypt faced or acquired during its chairmanship during the last year. Also, of course, Egypt will back Indonesia and support Indonesia in all the sidelines activities that will be hosted on the sidelines of the D8, like the Halal Expo and the trade fair and the culture activities. Of course, Egypt is fully supported Indonesia regarding the hosting a special session for Palestine on the sidelines of the D8, and Indonesia will extend the invitation. This is my understanding to the president of Palestine to attend this special session. And of course, we are 100% backing Indonesia in this. And I want to highlight that during the last since October 7th, Egypt and Indonesia work together in many levels. Indonesia backed Egypt in its efforts for the ceasefire agreement and for the to refuse the forced displacement of the Palestinians. And on the other side, Indonesia was very generous towards the Palestinians, brothers and sisters in Gaza, and we can highlight how Indonesia was one of the biggest contributors to humanitarian aid to our Palestinian brothers and sisters in Gaza, and through your government, government to government, Indonesian army, Kimlu, business, and even the Indonesian NGOs that working on the ground helping our brothers and sisters in Palestine. Of course, Egypt will engage very constructively on all levels to support a successful outcome of the Indonesian chairmanship of the 88. Regarding the question of the visit of the President Abdel Fattah Sisi, usually the confirmation of the participations it announced very late before the date. But and of course, all I can say that Egypt is attach a very great importance to the summit and Indonesian chairmanship, and we are committed to a strong representation and very strong engagement to ensure the summit delivers a very constructive results.
I hope you will visit Indonesia because President Prabowo was there.
Inshallah,
Egypt.
inshallah.
Ambassador, you already mentioned a little bit about the commitment of Egypt of how to support the Palestinian people. But could you please elaborate more? I mean, how does the support from Egyptian governments on this term?
Of course, Egypt is the Palestinian issue is one of the most important cases that always Egypt is attached a very great importance to it, and Egypt, of course, like Indonesia, committed to the there is a commitment for Egypt from Egypt to the Palestinians' independence to be achieved. Of course, according to the international law, of course, Egypt is respect the two-state solutions and establishing a sovereign a Palestinian state on the borders of 4th of June 1967. East Jerusalem is the capital, and this commitment, of course, we can. I can show it in many tracks. Like, for example, how Egypt worked very hard to reach a ceasefire and protection of the civilians and rejection of forced displacement. And in the beginning of the war, of course, we heard a lot of ideas and plans that. Let's evacuate or make Gaza Strip free from the Palestinians. We can we can assign the Palestinians in different places worldwide. Of course, this is a policy that can kill the Palestinians' cause and Palestinians' case. Egypt stands very, very hard towards these ideas and plans, and with our efforts and with, of course, with the backing of our brothers like Indonesia, we succeeded to stop the forced displacement of the Palestinians and reach the ceasefire agreement in October 2024 in Sharm el-Sheikh, when President Trump signed the agreement with President Abdel Fattah Sisi. So I want to highlight that the establishment of the Palestinian state will lead to a more peaceful Middle East and more regional stability in the Middle East. Egypt and Indonesia also work together in the, as I mentioned, in providing humanitarian aid. Egypt provides almost 70% of the humanitarian aid entered to Gaza during the last 2 years. Logistics, medical capabilities, doctors, medicines, food. Also, we make a lot of medical evacuation for treatment inside Egypt. And also, I want to highlight the big presence of Indonesian doctors working now and still working in El Arish, one of the big cities in North Sinai, for the medical treatment for the Palestinians who cross the border to get the medical treatment, and after they finish the treatment, they go back again to Gaza. So Indonesia played also a role in this area. We can say that also we coordinated diplomatically with Indonesia in many levels. Indonesian foreign minister is member of the small OIC group, foreign ministers that always meet to discuss the current situation, and also we have like a joint statements usually issued by this the small group of the OIC, and of course both Egypt and Indonesia highlight the importance of the two-state solutions and the establishment of the Palestinian state. Egypt worked very hard regarding till the Security Council Resolution 2803 was adopted, and of course this very important resolution highlighted or draw a map of what will happen in Gaza in the coming few years. First the ceasefire, then the release of the detainees, and then starting the reconstruction of Gaza. And I want to highlight that also the reconstruction of Gaza is not, we have to see it not only the construction of Gaza, we have to link the Gaza with what's happening now in West Bank. So it's both are attached together because both are the foundation of any Palestinian state in the future. And what happened now from the Jewish settlers in West Bank undermine the security and the stability of the area or the region now, because of they want to divert the attention from Gaza to the West Bank. No, we have to be very strict that they are two attached together and we cannot separate it. All I can say that reaching a Palestinian state at the end, this is a must that we, inshallah, will achieve it with the help of Egypt and Indonesia and all the Arabic and Islamic countries. The help of Palestinians to reach their goals as a legitimate goal. And of course, according to the international law and the legitimate rights of the Palestinian people. Yeah. Thank you.
Ambassador.
Thank you so much.
Demikian pendengar dan pemirsa RRI. Demikian wawancara saya bersama Duta Besar Mesir untuk Indonesia yang mulia Bapak Yasser Elshemy. Sampai jumpa. Thank you, Ambassador.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.